Relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing. Let everything settle down itself. If it is possible, close your eyes. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, dear Dhamma friends, in Buddhism mainly, there are two mental cultures called Samatha and Vipassana. So, when it comes to Samatha mental culture, you give a primary mental object to your mind, and the mind focus to that and follow. And allow your mind to settle down following that primary mental object. And the reason is mind always go here and there and jumping to past or the future, comparing things, assuming things. So that's very nature of the mind. But when it comes to tranquility state of the mind, we slowly detach our mind from that all the behavior and allow it to settle down and stay in one point. So once the mind settles down, from there, with that calm, relaxed, tranquility mind, we go to the Vipassana level of practice. So this techniques, even though we practice in separately, that our purpose should be one, that is gaining the wisdom and developing understanding and gaining wisdom and attaining to enlightenment. So never practice meditation to practice meditation, so to be with the meditation. We practice meditation to get out of the meditation. So every day till you die, you no need to practice meditation. So your purpose should be, you use this moment to practice meditation, not to be with the meditation, but to get the wisdom or the understanding and get out of it. It's same like using a freeway, highway. You use it, but it doesn't mean you're going to be there too much, too long. So once the point comes, once the destination comes, as soon as you have to take exit. So like that, sometimes we attach to meditation, especially samatha. We attach to tranquility meditation. Why? Because we like calmness. We like relax, comfort. And sometimes people get disturbed even if they couldn't practice their meditation. So this should not be like that. Then always remember, you come to meditation, you practice the meditation, keeping the intention deeply to gain the wisdom. So that's why you have to tame your mind, calm your mind, relax your mind to make it more usable. To usable for vipassana, not for anything else. Not to become a fortune teller, not to read the mind, or not to kind of like go to the past or see what happened in the past. It's really you have to have the intention to recognize who I am, what is this life, what I experience here, what is this moment. So in the tranquility state of the mind, as a primary mental object, we take our inhalation, exhalation. So when we take inhalation, exhalation, it has benefit for our vipassana also. Because inhalation, exhalation is a way that kind of like giving the strength for our entire body, our whole body depending on inhalation, exhalation. The most important thing in life, this inhalation, exhalation. And your mind can understand the language of the inhalation, exhalation. Your entire body, this head to toes, this all the cells, each and every atom, and follow the inner rhythm of the inhalation, exhalation. So we use the inhalation, exhalation to tranquilize our mind. Because the mind has a deeper connection with it. Your body has a deeper connection with it, and it listens to your inhalation, exhalation very easily. It is a very simple method, but the thing is we like to make things complicated. That's why mostly meditation become a little bit hard sometimes. Otherwise, the inhalation, exhalation itself our nature, and why difficult to observe it. So anyhow, we take our inhalation, exhalation as our primary mental object. So then keep attention to the inhalation, exhalation, and observe separately in the beginning. This is inhalation, this is exhalation. And keep observing. If your mind go here and there, bring it back. So where you focus, in front of your nose and your upper lip area. In sometimes when you observe this way, you feel, you see your belly area, your chest area, shoulders, but you don't need to put attention to that much. Stay with here, because this is the most sharp place that you can bring your mind. Other places, nothing wrong with it, but we go to the best place. So from there, and observe the inhalation, exhalation separately. And when you keep observing little by little, mind become familiar to see the inhalation, exhalation. So then bring little bit more attention and observe the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. Knowingly, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. So it brings the clarity to yourself with the practice. It makes sure that yourself, you become more confident, you see it now. And you recognize the very nature with the behavior of the inhalation, exhalation. So from there, when you keep observing, bring a little bit more attention rather than settle down there, bring the effort and see the very nature of the inhalation, exhalation. Sometimes it becomes longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold, so like that. So don't interfere with its nature, just allow it to happen. Just allow it to happen, and when you see it, recognize. So then you neutral this doing part. You are involving, you trying to make changes or interfering with. No, you don't do that. You completely become neutral and observe and recognize, observe and recognize. And when the mind calm down, the body, mind, breathing, thoughts slowly calm down to one point. in tranquility state, and deeply you settle down and mind become usable. And how the mind become usable? Because you don't get disturbed. So that whatever the sound, smell, taste, even the memory, so nothing can disturb you. That is where your awareness going to become clear. Because why? Because the perception not going to disturb you. So from there, we go to vipassana. We don't stay there. And there is another way that you can develop that towards the dhyana or the high mental powers. So that is a different way. But we go to the vipassana practice. So it is kind of like a junction that you take a turn. So then you drop the details related with the inhalation, exhalation, and you focus to the feelings that you get out of the inhalation, exhalations. Now it related to the mind. When you observe the feelings, that's mean little by little, you able to recognize the mind. So now we come to the inside meditation. So inside meditation, you don't go with the outside object. So then start with the feelings. When the inhalation, exhalation happens, there are feelings arise. Just recognize it, observe it, see it. Just know this is inhalation, this is exhalation. And from there, through the feelings, recognize how it is changed. So just seeing the feelings doesn't make any sense. You have to see how the feelings change. That is where the wisdom arises. And when you see the feelings, try to go into it, deeper it. Don't settle down with the feeling. That is where you're going to see the sensation. But if you see the feelings and you settle down there, you're not going to see anything. So it's same like that you look at the ocean. From the outside, from the beach, you sit down on the sand and you look at the water. You see something. But you can't, it doesn't help you to see the underneath. But it is not separate from the what you see. It is inherent inside. But you cannot see from outside. But the outside also appear because of what is inside. So same thing like that. And once you see the surface level feelings, don't settle down there. You recognize. Another thing is, don't get attached to it. Because once you get attached anymore, you cannot see it. So you don't get attached. And at the same time, you're not going to settle down there, and you observe. And when you deeply observe, you see how it is changed moment by moment. So we see the cause and effect. When the inhalation arises, feelings change. Sensation change, formations change, thoughts change, the mind change. Just seeing the cause and effect doesn't make any sense. Because it is intellectually that we know these things, but it doesn't make any sense. Where the truth hide? The truth inherent in the cause and effect. What is that truth? That truth is the change. So when you see the cause and effect, the inhalation, and according to that inhalation, the feelings arise. And when the feelings arise, inhalation itself has no authority to exist same as it is. It changed. And the feelings, it happened because of the inhalation, but itself, it cannot be as a separate entity. It bound to the inhalation, and also it itself changing and giving birth to sensation. So see that interconnection. You have to see this. When you see the cause and effect, you know because of this, because this happened. Without this, this is not going to happen. But just happening part doesn't enough. When this happened, because of this, this happened, and at the same time, this change, that change in giving the power to happen this. If this is not change, if this is separate, unchangeable, eternal entity, this cannot give an influence to something to become something. So then this has to change to help to become this. So cause and effect mean you see that. You see because of this, this happened, and at the same time, to happen this, to give the effect to this one, this has to change. And then as a part of this change, this happened, this arise. And then itself, it cannot exist itself. It also has to change. So seeing this, giving the wisdom to yourself that nothing exists separately and nothing exists eternally and nothing exists itself unchangeable. It always changing, and that change giving the empowering or the giving influence to happen something. So this is what happening all the time. No any atom, no any cell, nothing can separate from this. This entire universe like that. So observing the feelings, so when the inhalation exhalation happens, when you see the feelings, that is what you have to recognize deeply. Otherwise, just not the outside feelings. Outside feeling, observing what will happen. Nothing going to happen. And even the sensation, seeing the sensation, nothing. Even the cause and effect, seeing the cause and effect, nothing going to happen. People know because of this happened. People know that. But it doesn't give inner wisdom. People know that when then when you, that the send a missile, it's going to kill people. That's why people do that. They know the cause and they know the effect. But they don't recognize that within this anything, it's not going to give whatever we want, anything. Why? Because in everything itself change. So within your inhalation, exhalation, within whatever you get as when you focus to whatever the sensation, feeling, formation, thoughts, and the even entire mind, the consciousness, see how things change moment by moment, and it changing and giving birth to something, and it change, it giving birth to something. So through the five aggregates, and we observe this and recognizing this change again and again and again. So stay on that path and give attention to the change and go deeper into that change and see very clearly. So let's practice a little bit. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. Bring your attention to your body. So scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Supatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. And take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge in this moment with this sitting. May my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May no problems come to me. All the success stay with my practice. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation. So in the beginning, just observe your body, the lower part of the body. Bring your attention and see, is there any sensation, feelings, if you can find. So don't change or don't interfere with anything. Just allow things to happen itself. Just recognize. Heaviness, tightness, heat. And your lower back. And your upper back and shoulders. And your arms, elbow, forearms, palms, fingers, fingertips. Your chest and your abdominal muscles. Your neck and head. And bring your attention to your whole body and feel your whole body as one. So bring the attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area. And deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation place. And now allow your inhalation, exhalation to happen itself. And recognize it. Just knowingly, this is inhalation, this is exhalation. Don't try to interfere with it. Don't try to change anything. Don't try to correct anything. Just completely get out of doing part. Just observe. If your mind go here and there, bring it back again and again. Just see, this is rising, this is falling. And follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation, knowingly this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end of the inhalation and exhalation. And see how the inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold itself. Just recognize. Don't disturb it, don't interfere with it. Just see and recognize. Just drop the details related to inhalation, exhalation. Just observe the sensation or the feelings. And see the change. And bring your attention to your body. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. So, with clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. So expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Visualize yourself and send it as a light forward to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So dear Dhamma friends, when it comes to Buddha's teaching, this samsara, the existence, sometimes when we say samsara, we always think it is endless, something that already in front of us. And the very when we do the actions, how we can recognize that actions belong to samsara? So that actions always help us to become somebody. Knowingly or unknowingly, it pushes you forward to become somebody. That is the very nature of the samsara. So if you start to, if you look from the birth of the child, from that moment, see that it always pushes that life to become somebody. And it's not going to end there. Another thing is, it always depending from something. That also another nature of the samsara. So if this moment is depending from something, so that means this moment belong to samsara. And also it always, even though it becomes something, it depending from something, and it is very limited. It's not going to be forever. It become very limited. So whatever you become, it's going to become for a very limited time. Even sometimes deities, maybe million years they are longevity, but still they're going to end that. Maybe they don't see it, and that's why sometimes they believing it has that eternal place. But that also going to end someday. So it become limited. So this is the very nature of the samsara. And other thing is that, as we all know, that in the Buddhism it always talk about the suffering. And mostly we take this kind of like a misunderstand. And the suffering become normal. That most suffering that in the world, the people who follow the Buddha's teachings, they are the one who mostly suffer. Why that? Because they accept the suffering and they become so friendly with suffering. They allow to be suffering there as a part of life. Oh, it's a part of life. Just, it is okay to suffer. They addicted to suffering. But the Buddha mentioned that the suffering as a nature of the world, and you can get out of it. Once you know how the sufferings happen, then you no need to suffer anymore. So the ignorance mean another way, while you knowing it is suffering, and you, while that you knowingly, it going to bring you the suffering and you still suffer. That is the ignorance. So if you know, if any action bring the suffering, and knowingly that, why you suffer? So that is why this wisdom is the Buddha's teaching, that itself we have to understand very deeply. Because one of the mistake that thing is, we try to understand this through words. So the words cannot give meaning to the truth or the Dharma. We cannot take it like this. So that's why we practice meditation, and especially in the Vipassana level. So the mind has its own natural process. So if you are able to detach your mind from the names and the forms, or the mental formations, that's mean mainly related with the words and the pictures, colors. Pictures and the words, if you take out of your mind, your mind going to be in your natural process. So when we try to understand things through words, we cannot get the meaning. So as example, if you say blue color, which color you mention? It has different varieties. So then when you say blue color, and see this nowadays, the color chart in these computers, even this 4K or 8K TVs, how the color separation, you cannot mention this color is like this, that way. So the truth also like that. When you try to understand it by words, you cannot get the right meaning. So the same thing happening to Buddhism also, the Buddha's teaching. We try to mainly understand it by words. So another thing is, the words has different meanings, and according to our capacity, we understand it different way. But there is a way, still you can understand it. That's why Buddha taught this. That's why all other enlightened masters and keep teaching this in the history through this 2,600 years. And not only even this Buddha, and eons backward, many Buddhas came to this world, and they keep teaching this. But it is just not by giving words, or kind of like giving lectures, or kind of like giving meanings to words. No, you take out all the information you collected in your mind, and then make your mind free. Then you're going to recognize it. Because the truth is very subtle, very sharp, and it is very close to us. It is not far away. Truth inherent in you. But the thing is, we have habitual patterns, addiction to go for rough, big, heavy things. And because of that, these little tiny, very close things we miss. Even the sound, that's, you know, that for our ears, there are certain that the sound vibration come. For our eyes, so there are animals, they can see better than us. There are animals can hear better than us. So we kind of like make it kind of like a rough to maintain. And other thing is, we mainly to go with the perception or the sensual pleasures. And we make the world material. Look, this material world, how this material came to the world. This everything came by out of the human hand. And why? Because they like to make it like that way. but still the nature is different. Still, it doesn't matter whatever the material things we build, we cannot beat the nature. I'll give one example. Look at the Central Park in New York. It doesn't matter how big buildings we build. There is no any building can challenge to the Central Park trees. When you look at from the sky, that piece of land in the middle of this heavy city and hold all the powers. So then look, our forefathers, how wise they were and how deeply they thought about it. And see that, the World Trade Centers, it already gone. But no one can challenge to that little piece of land, just the land with the little trees, that huge in the middle of the huge city. And when you look at from the sky, and it's not the buildings, that piece of land holds the identity for the entire New York. So the Dharma also like that, the nature also like that. Remember that. The truth also like that. It doesn't matter how big things we make. This tiny little simple truth sometimes going to become so powerful. So that's why sometimes we miss it. And when it becomes so closer, and when it becomes 24/7 available for us, we're not going to see it. So that when it comes to this, the suffering, and we just make it normal for our life. We just allow it to happen itself. Whatever happened there, we say, oh, suffering is a part of the world, just let it be. But the Buddha said not like that. Once you know this is suffering, why you suffer? So before the Buddha, it is okay. But once the Buddha taught you, this is going to make you suffer, then you have to get out of it if you know that. And there is a way that you can have a very beautiful life without suffering. That is the Buddha's teaching, that in a conventional life, or as a ordinary person, in conventional life, you can have a life without suffering. You don't need to suffer in life. But we don't accept it like that. We think, oh, we have to suffer. Why? Because the suffering is a part of the world. That is very wrong understanding, and that is very wrong teaching. So then other thing is that we tell not to be greedy, not to be angry, and don't be ignorant. So we always teach this. Greed, hatred, and the delusion, not good. So when we say this, so this is a little bit deep. So that's why when it comes to the Vipassana level of practice, that you have to slowly understand what is this. So when you say greed, hatred, delusion is not good, what is the base for saying that? Because without greed, hatred, and the delusion, you are already enlightened. If there is no greed, hatred, and the delusion, you are already enlightened. So then, if you are enlightened, there is nothing to say. But when we say, don't be greedy, don't be angry, don't be ignorant, what is the base? So I wish if we had the physical, that the environment to have a conversation to give the better, clear understanding. Anyhow, So when it comes to that, if you base with the future, if you become greedy, angry, ignorant, maybe in the future you're going to suffer. Your next life you're going to suffer. That is very wrong teaching. If you practice today something thinking in the future it is not going to become good for you, that is very wrong teaching. Why it become wrong? Because your practice should not future base. So the Buddha never say anything related to the future. Buddha was not a fortune teller. So if he told anything about the future, so then he should tell all the future about the world. Why he stopped in one part? It is not fair. If we, as example, if he tell the future regarding another 100 years, so how about after that? And he tells the future about after 200 or maybe even think 10,000 years. How about after that? Is not belong to the world? So then if he become limited with the timeline, he is not going to become a Buddha. And then one time one person came and had argument with me, why the Buddha, if he had so much compassion, why he didn't tell about this virus situation. So the people think like that. The Buddha is kind of like the fortune teller. So another thing is, if the Buddha taught something to you, if you do this today, just imagine, if you do this today, in the future, you're going to get punished for that. Then it come to a kind of like a eternalism. Why? Because it's going to exactly going to happen. Then you become a victim for the karma. Then how about your wisdom? If you become a victim for the karma or for your previous action, then you become a prisoner anymore. There is no way you can get out of it. Why? Because you already have done something. Now you have to exactly get the punishment for that. So then then the sati sampajanya is itself become powerless. So that's why you have to be very, very, very sharp and very clear with this. So when you say greed, hatred, and the delusion is not good, what is the base for that? Because if it is with the future, so that's mean exactly it's going to happen in the future. Then how about in that condition if it is changed? So then the theory of cause and effect going to change. Why? Because now you already done something, then after that it's going to exactly happen. So then when it come to the base, the moment, it always greed, hatred, or the delusion. Why it is not good for you? Because in this very moment, when you having the greed, in that very moment, it going to give you negative result. That's why. When you have the hatred, so today your anger, tomorrow not going to give you a heart attack. It's today you get angry, then you force it, and then tomorrow suddenly your nerve system not going to react to that like that. When you have anger in this very moment, it is not good for you, not for the future. So that is what in the Vipassana level you have to clearly understand. Ignorance. So when you have the ignorance in this very moment, you going to suffer out of that. Not in the future. This teaching is not based with the future. This is nothing to do with the future result. In this very moment, you get the result. So then the compassion the same. When you having compassion, in the future not going to give you result. In this very moment you get it. And when you become generous, it is not with the future, but look at our lifestyle. We do a lot of things thinking in the future, in the samsaric journey. I will get this. I will get this. So then itself, we already bound to the samsara. So then how we even that having an idea, at least just kind of like having an intention at least to end this. Because we already, our action already we developed to become. So then it is two different things. We finally pray that look for the Nibbana, and we do all the action to develop the samsara. So then you have to remember that whatever you practice, especially with the greed, hatred, and the delusion, that all the negative results not going to come in the future. It come in this very moment. So then when it become habit again and again and again and again, in that very moment it become powerful. It become powerful. But the beauty of the sati means it doesn't matter whatever in the samsara, in this very moment or in the future, any place, at any moment, if any human beings able to develop the sati sampajanya or the clear comprehension or awareness, in that very moment, that person can destroy this habitual pattern. In that very moment that he going to see the truth. So otherwise this truth is not depending according to your past or not according to your future. The truth exists in this very moment, and according to the condition of the nature of your mind, then you're going to get it. So then when you sit for meditation or when you do something, don't do it with the future thinking about the future that you're going to get the result. So in this very moment, you have it. So if you're able to see that in that very moment, you get it, and in that any moment, you're not going to depending from the future. In this very moment, you detach from the future. In that very moment, your liberation happens. So otherwise, but we condition, we use our mind. We have a habit to thinking future, doing good things. That's why we cannot get this. But can you do thinking without thinking future? Can you do the good just within the moment and knowingly it is good, and just you do it 100% yourself within in this very moment, seeing the result yourself? So that should be the base. If you practice, when the base become like that, and when you develop that little by little, remember, there is a moment come. You're going to really deeply get into the bottom line. So that is the moment your transformation, your liberation happen. But if you keep thinking about the future, if you're doing the good, thinking one day I will get it, it's going to get. So the thing is this, you cannot get out of it. Why? Because you are the one who build your future. Not anybody else. You are the one who already thinking, I will get this all the good. You're going to get it. Somewhere you will get it. But the thing is, that getting is not getting out. The getting is always take you in, take you in. That is the thing. But in this very moment, when you do the good, in the knowingly it is good, and when you completely come to the point to observe the moment, in that very moment, your mind has no thoughts related to the future. So in that very moment, you get the result. And in this very moment, when you become complete with that, that is your itself become your liberation. So again and again, think about it a little bit. And so don't make a mistake yourself. So the base is the not the future. The base itself is this moment. This is a very risky way to understand something. It's same like. That's why you cannot, that is why you cannot even the hate anything, you cannot love anything. So as example, I give a little example to try to get this. So when somebody put handcuff and he become a prisoner to that, and you not become a prisoner because you not, that the handcuff is not in your hand. So when somebody having the handcuff, he become a prisoner. Remember that same handcuff make you free. When you're not having it, you are free. When you're having it, you are not free. So the same like the ideas. When you have it, you have the samsara. When you not have it, you don't have a samsara. So like that, when you have future, you have a samsara. When you don't wish for the future, you become free from it. Otherwise, it is not something or somewhere waiting for us and doing something, taking decisions. It's not like that. In this very moment, what you select, in this very moment, it's going to become with you. So think about it, and again question yourself and look for it, and don't afraid to investigate the Dhamma. It doesn't matter whoever say, it doesn't matter how famous, and you no need to believe that. You have to question, you have to investigate, you have to have the doubt regarding that what you believe. You have to question what you practice, and you have to get into the depth with what you keep doing to get the truth out of your own life. So that is the Buddha's teaching. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata chammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idammi punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu. Sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.